Well, hey Becky. Counting down. This is hilarious. Look at this Blab interface. It's like 54, 53, 52. It's like counting down. It's like the closest thing to having a real a TV show when they count you down. Doing a live. This is everybody's talk show now. And yes, I love you, Periscope. Love you. But I'm kind of liking this Blab interface. It won't work on your phone. No, you can use it on your computer. You can just go onto blab.im and you could get on right now. Yup. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good morning, everybody. Happy to have you with us. And I'm kind of like trying to time this at the same time. It really should work on any phone. It is, as far as I know, it is not just an iPhone thing. Hey, creative. 7 seconds. 6, 5. This is hilarious. 1 second. Woo! Oh, well, yes, I'm out of my car now. Yes. They never came to sweep, by the way. Hey, Blab folks. What's up, Blab? What's up? Yes, you were waiting for me. Still figuring it out. And it looks like I already have a guest queued up. I'm going to make her hang on a few minutes here. Paula, you just opted into the listener seat, if you're okay with that. I don't know if, did you want to pop on and say something? Let me know. Much love to you guys for joining me for Power Lunch. Thursdays at noon Eastern time and a different time everywhere else. So bear with me with the dual screen thing. Today's topic, everyone's an intern. Now, I was an intern at one point. You were an intern at one point, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you were not an intern. But chances are you had to be at one point the new kid on the block. The new kid. Meaning that whether you switch industries, it was your first time getting a job. And it's awkward and uncomfortable. And this week I interviewed a woman on Solopreneur on the Grant Cardone TV network. A woman named Sydney Fulkerson, who wrote the book, The Coffee Run. She wrote it because she was like trying to find an internship, and she was in college at the time and was like, there's no good resources for this. Why? Why are there no good resources? So she wrote one. And I talked to her about it, but what that made me think was, well, yeah, that's great if you're in college, but then I was like, no, but everyone has to be new again and again. And my thinking is that if you're not new to something regularly, then you're not learning anything new. And you're old news. Why would you want to hang on to the old thing? What is the name of your blab? I think you just search my name on there. Just go to Terry Trespicio or T. Trespicio. It says, yes, 50, and you're new now. Always new. Terry TV is what I'm calling this. Welcome to Terry TV. Why not? My name is Terry T, so why not add a V on the end, especially since I'm going to be hosting my own little show right here. And it's hashtag Power Lunch. Yoo-hoo. Hi, Sabrina. Sabrina, we're going to do your thing a little after. We're going to do the theme of the Power Lunch first, and then I'm going to do some laser coaching with Sabrina afterward, if you want to stick around. What's up? Easygoing. So here's my thought for you. Everyone wants to be an expert at something, right? You want to master a thing. You want to kill it, crush it. You want to be the expert, sharpen your expertise. I get it. It keeps you download the app. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how to do it. If you open the app, it should be good. It should just launch for you. I did it literally on the air. So, but if you need more time, then do it on your computer, actually. So here's the thought. I get it that you want to be expert and expertise and everything. But in order to really grow, you've got to be totally new at something. You've got to be doing something that makes you feel a little awkward and unsure. I will give you an example. When I tried wakeboarding a few weeks ago, I am not a water sports person, and I found myself out in a boat with some friends. We were on a little camping trip. And they said, oh, we're going to go, I thought tubing, which I thought zero skill set. You just get on the back and hang on. I thought that would be fun. Yeah, no, we weren't going tubing. It was 9 a.m. They're like, no, here's a surfboard. Here's the water. Here's a rope tied to the boat. Just get out there and surf. It's like, what? So I was like, no, I can't. I don't think I can do that. And then I watched my friends, one after the other. One guy was really good, another girl was kind of good, and the guy's sister was awesome. And I was like, well, I guess I get it. You know, I was like, I think I can do that. Thank you. But it's in there. I mean, look, it is a real app. It is definitely in there. There is more than one Blab, but this is the one. Go to blab.im on your computer. You'll be able to get there too. So I got out there and I was nervous, and everything I had just learned. I'd been watching people for an hour. Like, okay, I get it. You put your feet here. I understood it right here. But when I went out there to do it, holy God, did I suck. I ate it so bad. And I had my friend film it, and I'm putting it on Solopreneur next week of shot after shot after shot of me just eating it. I could not even stand up. But what I understood was, wait, what do you need to do wakeboarding? You have to be athletic, have a good sense of balance, good core strength. I was like, oh, I totally got this. I have all the prerequisites for being good at it. What I hadn't had yet was time. I hadn't had time. I went out there and like in 10 minutes. Oh, I didn't watch the video that my friend took for a week. I was like, oh, I didn't get right back in the boat and go, let me watch. I knew all too well what I had done. And so I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it for days. And then I was talking to someone about it, and I said, let's look at it together. And which is weird, because you'd think you'd want to look at it alone. And I looked at it with this person. I forget who it was, and I was like, look at how bad I am. It was so bad. It was so bad. But I was like, I do yoga. Like, I have great balance and strength. Yeah, I hadn't done that thing. So here's my point. You have expertise in an area. You know what you do well. And you say, well, why can't I do it? And you go in there and you expect to kill it? I so did not kill it. And I was a little bit hard on myself after. And I was like, man, I'm not good at this. And I don't understand. I don't get why I didn't kill it. My friend goes, are you kidding me? My friend who's like 30 years old, he goes, I've been doing this since I was 9. He's like, every summer, every day for a week at a time, I'll go out there and do it and do it and do it. And now he's like, because he's like, whoosh, I mean, like surfing like a pro. And I was like, wow, how do you do it? He's like, I've been doing it for 20 years. Yes, of course you have to fail, but that's not the point of this, because no one wants to fail. My point is that you have to be willing to be new. And to be new kind of gracefully is my point. So, great. So, you know, I effed up at that pretty badly, and it was embarrassing. It's fine. But I'm not saying, oh, I failed and now I'll succeed at wakeboarding. I may never be on a wakeboard or near a wakeboard again, because I don't live in Florida. I'm not on a boat ever, almost ever. The last time I was on a boat was on a cruise ship, a luxury cruise ship, and even that I was a little nervous about. My point is not, oh, I'll fail and then be a great wakeboarder. My point is that you think that since you're skilled and you're an adult and you have some things you do well, that you shouldn't mess up. And in fact, my disappointment over that 10-minute span where I tried a thing I'd never done, my disappointment, I was embarrassed that I was disappointed. I should have been like, well, that was fun. I would do that again. But what did I do? I came in like berating myself. Oh, I'm so bad. I don't know. I'm disappointed. I was trying to cover myself because I was embarrassed how bad I did in front of like 10 people. Anyway, that's that thing. Now, Grant Cardone, whose book I'm reading right now, Sell or Be Sold, so fantastic. One thing about that I want to tell you, he says that he went skiing with if you read the book, he says he went skiing with a friend of his who was like a big business guy. And he goes, hey, to his friend, he goes, why don't you take a lesson? You've never been on skis before. They were at like Whistler, which is like no joke. And he's like, I don't need a beginner lesson. Why? Because he's a big guy, right? Because he should know everything. And so he didn't have any lessons. And he went to the top of the mountain with Grant. If I were Grant, I would not even go. I'd be like, I refuse to go with you. Then he went up there with the friend, and the friend spent the whole rest of the day trying to get down that mountain. He said, you know what? And he used it to make a deal, because this is one of his business partners. He goes, that struggle you had today? Let's build a training company so that no one ever feels ill-prepared. Because that is what you're doing when you try to do anything without having the proper training and the time, is that you'll get disappointed, but you'll also just waste a lot of time. So, my question to you is, really look at what you're doing. Of course you want to be good at some things. I want you to always be doing something new as well. Because your ego is really your enemy. I know this, my ego is my enemy. And your ego keeps you from learning, it keeps you from listening, keeps you from getting what you need to grow. And one of my other favorite marketing experts, Daniel Degree of madpipe.com, give him a little shout out. He said something when I first met him in a workshop that he was speaking at, and he said something really powerful that I don't want you to forget. He said, if you think everyone who disagrees with you is stupid, then you can never learn, because you can't believe that someone can be smart and have a differing opinion from you, which means then you have no one to learn from. If everyone doesn't agree with you is stupid, then who can you learn from? Just yourself? You have to learn from other people, and that's what interning is. I call it win-turning. No, I don't. I just made that up. Another thing Grant talks about, and I guess I have him on the brain, is commission. He says everyone's in sales. Everyone earns a commission. Now, it's not always monetary. You do everything for commission. You do things like maybe you consult with someone without charging them. You give them a little of your time. Maybe you go speak at an event. That's the business side. Maybe you go to a networking event. You're not getting paid to go. The commission is that you might find people that you connect with and relate to and whose businesses you can support and who might be able to support yours too. That's commission. We all work on it. I'll tell you what I did on commission. I got paid a little bit, but really not much. I got a wonderful opportunity to go speak at this conference I told you that I did last year and I'm doing next year, called How Design Live. It's a huge conference for designers and creative professionals and marketers, but heavy on the design side. I see easygoing. I see some comments there. I promise I'll get to you there. And I could have said, well, oh, but I wasn't a designer. I don't know if I have anything to sell. I could have like backpedaled and said like, oh, well, someone else will be better. But someone dropped out of that lineup. You've heard me tell this story, right? And someone said, hey, would you do it? Well, Elise Bennett, marketing-mentor.com. She invited me. And I did it. And I was so psyched. You know how many wonderful opportunities have come out of that opportunity? I got to go speak, I got to meet people, and I was thrilled. And I sharpened my expertise a little further. Now, I'm not a beginner speaker. I've spoken in public for years. It's not something I haven't done, but I hadn't talked to those people before, and it was really well worth doing it. So, what are you learning at? Is there anything new? You're new to this stuff. Maybe it's like you're new to tech. You're like, Blab, I don't even know how to use this thing. Yeah, there's ways to do it. There's ways to do things and be okay being bad at them. I'm not saying like everyone goes after failure, like you want to be a failure. By the way, Becky, who's on my team, is watching the feed of comments on Periscope because I find I have a hard time keeping up. And she is welcome to Periscope. And Becky's sending some comments along. If you guys have questions and you pop them up in Periscope and I don't see it, Becky is watching and she's going to send you. Can you recap? I'm new to your scopes. Well, I can't recap everything because everyone else has been listening for the past 15 minutes, but you can watch my old Periscopes, which are caught on Catch. It's Katch. You know that? I believe it's catch.me. I think this is my link if you want to watch some old Periscopes or recent Periscopes. So, say hi, Becky, so I can follow you too. Yeah, Becky, say hi. Yes, and thanks for all the love. So, you're an intern at what? What are you afraid to try? There is risk involved. You couldn't embarrass yourself. Like I did. Wasn't that bad, though. Let me tell you something else I'm doing. While we're on the topic, I'm new to stand-up comedy. I've always loved stand-up comedy. Love it. I've always done a little stand-up-y type style when I speak. But when you're going to walk up and go do stand-up comedy, like walk up to the mic and be like, hi, unabashedly, that's scary. And I'm doing that. My first show, my graduation show, is this coming Wednesday, 26th. Anyone here in New York City? Anyone there in New York? The show, if you want to come, it's open to the public. It's not free, but it's not expensive. It's Wednesday night. Why not give a plug for it? Of course you are, Elise. It's Wednesday night, the 26th, at Gotham Comedy Club. There are 2 graduation shows that night. I am the 7 o'clock show. And the fun thing about a graduation show is that there's a big crowd because everyone brings their friends and family. It's a forgiving crowd, which is nice. And sometimes a celebrity comic might drop by. Why? Because there's a really warm, awesome, happy crowd there. And so one time, I guess someone was doing their graduation show, and like Jerry Seinfeld showed up, which I would stress out. I don't know that anyone wants to follow Seinfeld when we are beginners, but that is a little scary. I've done storytelling. I love storytelling. That's still a little bit scary. But comedy, I was sitting there writing for this stand-up thing, and I was like, oh God, this is so hard. Then I started to do this thing where you say, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at writing. Oh, I can't. Someone else would be, oh, blah, 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 blah. I just had this whole idea in my head about it. And then I was like, wait a minute. Have I spent the past 20 years writing jokes? No. So why the heck? Would I think I could do it? But I'm doing it. So I'm new to it. But there's that idea of like, ugh, because I get cowed too. I get like, oh, forget it. Like, forget it. I feel that way at least a few times a day. Don't you? What questions we got over here? Anything else happening? People are typing on Blab, people typing over here. Sometimes when you're an intern, you got to do some favors too. And maybe you're like, ugh. But that's how you learn. That's how you learn anything. My very first internship for reals was, I was it was the public relations department of a company called BBDO, one of the biggest, most famous ad agencies in the world. And I was absolutely starstruck to be there and be around this place where great advertisements and all the brands we know. I was like, this is the center of the universe. It was my first time coming into New York City, like daily, like it was your job. You're pretending it was a job. And I'm commuting on the bus from New Jersey, where I grew up, and walked into BBDO, and I was like, I can't possibly, what am I doing here? This can't even be real. And I worked, in my job as an intern was to like help with some, great, David, good to know you, doing like checking for where BBDO or its clients were mentioned in the press. And these are pre-Google days. So guess what I did? I would get my coffee in the morning, and I was new to coffee. I was getting very excited about this coffee New York thing. And I got a stack of newspapers, and I would sit there and read the newspapers, scan them for the names of, like Pepsi, and all their clients to see if they were mentioned. Hello, it's called Google Alert. Can you even imagine that they had someone go in there and just like, just reading the papers? I mean, it's like unthinkable. Now that wouldn't be my job at all. I would be doing way more stuff. I'm sure I would be doing social media if it were publicity now. But you know what? It just felt good to be around those people and hear it and absorb it and learn something. I know that if you guys are on this, you're probably also people who are into info products. And that's an area that I'm learning in. And my friend Paula Rizzo, who's on here too, she took the Zero to Launch class with Ramit Sethi. I'm in it now. She launched her first program, which is called Take Back Your Inbox. And give a little plug, you go to listproducer.com. And she created her first viable product. Is it the only product she's ever going to do? No. Is it the most important? We don't know yet. But you just do it. And that's what she's doing. And I want to do that too. So I'm in it. It's a risk, and then I paid money for it, but it's not a risk to sit here and watch the great videos that Ramit does. That's not risky. So don't take the risk. It's like, oh God, this will happen. Someone told me that they thought creating an info product was a risk because they may not make money. Okay. What's the other option for you? To sit there and not do anything? Like, I deal in content and messaging and pitches and that kind of thing. Getting your message heard, making it clear and powerful. And people want to know an ROI on it. I was like, I can't give you an ROI. And anyone who guarantees you an ROI they're lying. I mean, who could guarantee anything? So, questions. Now would be a great time to take questions. Since I've given you my spiel, it's very uncomfortable being new to something, isn't it? Because what that means is you have to be uncomfortable because you don't know what you're doing. And another thing Grant says is, info products are the way to go. Yes, exactly. Infopreneurs. There's an idea. I'd never heard that word before. I've heard every preneur, I thought. Grant says, the reason people hate selling, and by the way, hate anything, wakeboarding, stand-up comedy, whatever, is because they don't know how to do it. My instructor for stand-up, a very seasoned comedian named Karen Bergreen, she's funny, check her out, Karen Bergreen. She's a comic for like 20 years. She's like, it took her 7 years to actually be able to get something going there, like to really nail what she was doing. It takes comics sometimes 5 years to nail that one joke they're working on and make sure it hits right. They're practiced, right? It can be really intimidating to even start to practice. You can. Now, that is what it takes to be a wintern. And now your homework for this week is to try something new. It doesn't have to be rock climbing. It doesn't have to be some huge thing. But you have to be willing to try something. Now, who's over here giving me the hands? I love it. The feels. Giving me feels over here. Love the feels. Is there something you're struggling with that's new? People are too afraid of looking stupid. Oh, absolutely. So am I, by the way. I told you the first time I Periscoped was not I didn't watch a bunch of Periscopes because I knew I risked seeing things that intimidated me. So my best way is to go in like this. I just was like, let's just start. Let's just do it. You don't see anything? I wonder why. Does everyone else have a visual on here? Because I see you, Elise. I see you in there. Now's the time, though, if you happen to be on Blab and can pop on. If you have a question or something that you're struggling with, now's the time. In a minute, I'm going to be talking to Sabrina. You can see here there on the side, Sabrina in Power. And she has a business as an editorial services person, and she's been struggling with how to really nail and communicate that. And so I've been promising her that we would do a little bit of work together on that. So we're going to do that in a few minutes. But anyone want to pop on and share about something new that you've been doing that's a real challenge and that you're doing it anyway? Wow, very quiet group. Martz is joining us. Martz, how's your connection today? Uh-oh. Looks like not good. Looks like not good. Because I don't hear you. Oh, there you are!
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say thank you for anything you're saying. I was very intimidated by, I am intimidated by Grant Cardone and his stuff because they're really top of the line. And he is the most unbelievable guy I have ever seen in sales.
Yeah, of course.
So,
yes, absolutely. But that doesn't mean you have to be intimidated by him. I mean, he's there to educate and train. That's where he does his work, training people.
I know, and I got to the point where I think that my life depends on millions on the phone right now. So if I miss this opportunity, like for today at 11 o'clock, my life will move on, right?
Yes.
And I can definitely move on and know what to do and try over and do all the stuff that you're telling because I know how to do it. I mean, I don't know because I'm new, but I understand.
So what do you think you're going to do next? What's your next step, or what are you struggling with?
No. I still have like 3 hours to find a way to sign up because this is that's what I want to do. I want to get to the point where I want to sign up for the millions on the phone.
Oh, you're going to sign up, so you're going to do it.
I want to.
So what's the fear? I mean, look, if it's a financial thing, that's your business. If you can or can't afford, I mean, that's a different issue altogether.
That's the only thing.
Oh, it's the only fear. Well, you know what? We value what we pay for. I mean, why am I going to make sure I do Ramit's class because I paid for it? Now, that's not always true. I pay for things I don't use sometimes.
But it's not a lot of money.
Oh, it's not.
This is like for free.
Oh, okay. So then what would be the reason? What would you be afraid of then? What's the fear?
This is the only money I have in the moment right now.
Okay, well that is, I mean, you got to eat.
My money, my parents are going to bring me food because I'm at the point of my life. It has changed for the past 2 weeks since I met him. And I don't even remember how I met him. I have no idea. Just God, I guess he said to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've changed. I've changed so much. And I understand everything he says. So I have 200 zlotys. So I was like $80. Because we in Poland have different currency.
Right.
And then in America.
She's in Poland.
So,
right. Millions on the Phone is the name of the course.
It's amazing, and I'm trying to talk to my friends, and I have to pick up my phone and I'm calling them so I can pursue them to understand that this is the thing you can buy and be great at selling.
But wait, what's the motivation for selling your friends on it? Why are you calling your friends to tell them to do it? Or are you just wanting to help?
No. I'm trying to borrow the money from them.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay.
What are you selling?
As a business?
Yes.
Okay. The only way I can say, I think I'm going to sell myself in terms of what I do.
Of course.
I do photography. I do. I'm scary good at procrastinating. I'm scary good at knowing and telling people what to do. I see all possibilities. I see possibilities in everywhere. I'm a person who thinks that everything has need improvement, and I'm trying to show people how to improve yourself also, because I'm getting to the point where I know I can help others.
Okay, but pause 1 second. Now I know that there's, I'm not getting to hear you in your native language, where I'm sure that it would come maybe a little bit easier. But I want to say this is that I still don't know what you do or what you're offering or what you're trying to sell. And no matter how much you use the phone and use Grant's tools, until you know exactly what you're selling. I heard you say you're a great photographer and a great procrastinator, which I was like, what does that mean? But in order to really sell something, you have to know what need you are solving in the other person. So selling your friends is actually going to be harder. Because your friends know you, they're going to feel that they should do you a favor by hiring you. It can get very tricky. And when I was in the sales, my world of sales, which was network marketing, selling jewelry, my job was to get people to sign up to host jewelry parties, okay? And then the host would earn free jewelry and I would earn money. And getting those hosts to sign up, your friends would do you favors, but you couldn't stay just selling to your friends. You had to get beyond them to people you don't know. Business isn't, made just by your friends. So you have to figure out what you're selling to people specifically, not what you want to do and feel like doing, or what you're good at doing, but what other people need. And getting to those people, selling your friends is going to be hard. They're just going to do it because they're either going to do it because they're doing you a favor, or they're going to not do it because they don't have to and they know you're their friend anyway. You need cold calling, right? That's why you need Grant's expertise. You need to call people you don't know. Now, the challenge for you is you need to be able to describe what you do very short and tight. What is something that someone should pay you to do? Everyone's selling themselves, so we know that. That's a given. I'm selling myself, you're selling yourself, this person's selling herself. So I need to know why I need to hire you. What are you going to help me do?
Okay.
What is it?
Terry, that's the other point that it's really difficult for me to describe just because...
I know, that's the problem. That's the hard part.
I know I have those lines. And I'm good at a little bit of this and that. And
Doesn't
this
matter
and
what
that.
you're good at. I need to know what I'm hiring you for. And if you can't say it, you can't sell it. And that's your problem right now. You need to figure out what you're doing for someone else. Not just, I'm good at this or I like this. It's like I could be good at stamp collecting and you're not going to pay me to do that. You'll just say, okay, have fun doing that. So, you know what I mean? So if it's photography, then figure out who needs pictures. If it's writing, it's what kind of writing and who needs it. This is about finding a market, not just performing a skill. So can you think about what that thing is? Can you pick one thing and tell me why I would pay you?
I would love to hang up right now.
Okay.
And don't
Think
say
about it.
anything, And don't say anything embarrassing. And
About what?
phone you lab in 5 minutes and give you the answer.
Okay.
If you will be here. If you won't be here, I understand.
Well, we'll connect another time if not. But I won't say anything embarrassing. Don't worry about it. And this is a problem everyone has, right? So go and work on your stuff, and I'm gonna talk to Sabrina. Okay?
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Martz is a real sweetheart, and she's struggling with what a lot of people are doing, right? They're seeing themselves as having the skill. They know what they're good at, but they haven't yet figured out what that is being used for. Look, you talented, multi-talented, multifaceted, complex people with a range of different jobs behind you, lots of different things that you've done. But if you can't tell me why I need to hire you now, I'm not saying you have to pick one thing and do it forever either. But if I'm talking to a guy who's a tech guy who has an idea and he's having trouble getting money, I'm going to tell him, I know how to put into words what you want to sell and help you sell it. That is what I do. Now, that's not what I tell a book agent or something. I mean, like, it's different. But I can razor in on what the thing is. Now, it's exactly 12:30. So as I said, Power Lunch is over because Power Lunch only lasts a half hour. And damn it, I didn't record this. I wish Blab would automatically record. Blab, I need to update that. So anyway, this has not been recorded. I hope you enjoyed it. Sabrina, you ready to hop on? I'll start recording now. A little bit too late. Oh, there she is. Okay. You are free to go eat your lunch if that's what you want to do. But if you want to get some live coaching and hear some live coaching happening right now, I'm speaking with Sabrina Bendersky, who I know is in France. And she's joining us now. Sabrina!
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. I wonder
Yes.
why. I can hear you.
I can hear you, but it's really slow all of a sudden.
It's the internet connection.
Yeah, I'm going to take my earphones. and
Yes, try
find
that.
them.
Although that doesn't usually always help.
It's okay. I hear you better now.
Is it better? Look at you, beautiful lady. I'm so glad to get to talk to you in person now.
Me too. It's been such a long process.
Yeah. This is Sabrina, everybody.
Intern at Blab.
You what? Intern at Blab. Here's Sabrina, everybody, on Periscope. There she is. She is in, where are you in France?
In the Alps. I don't know if you see
I've
where
heard
it
of-
is. It's the south part of France.
I have heard of the Alps, yes.
It's not far from Switzerland and Italy.
So talk to us a little bit, Sabrina. Tell us about what you're doing and what you're struggling with. I know that you are an editorial person.
Yes, so I'm a proofreader, translator, and copy editor.
Okay.
I've been working for myself, well, as a solopreneur for more than 10 years, and because
How
of
long? How long?
a bit more than 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
How's that? What, did you start at 10 years old? You look very young.
No, I started when I was 23.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So I had this I was thinking about expanding. Then because of my husband, I went to Grant Stream and some of his books, and I really started to think I should expand. Then I heard you too. I saw your show, and I have several questions because my main concern is about expanding because my clients do. They do call me because of my expertise,
Yep.
and if I expand
Then you're
and
not
become
doing it.
some kind of agency or have a team, I don't know how they will perceive this.
Well, I know this problem because I have this problem, and anyone who's ever worked for themselves has had this problem. The question is, if I'm known for my expertise, and solopreneurs and freelancers are, how do I scale without upsetting the people who depend on me personally to do the work? And the answer is, you don't necessarily, say you have 3 clients, you don't change those 3 clients. If those 3 clients were your first clients, then maybe there's certain people that deserve your attention because they were there from you in the beginning. And
Yes.
that's who you are working with, fine. But as you grow, they don't come in assuming they get to work with you. You become the company. You are whether it's the agency or however you choose to see yourself as a business, you become the operating. Think of yourself as the umbrella, and everyone who supports and does the work with you is under that umbrella. Now, You're not going to hand over your reputation to someone else and have someone else mess it up and worry about, oh no, I'm not going to have, I'm not going to have anyone trust me anymore because I can't control the quality. Well, in everyone's business, quality is a major concern. So you don't try to switch over and tell your old best clients, hey, I'm not going to be doing things with you anymore. It's not how it works. Let me tell you how I did this with one of my clients who was relying on me to do everything, and ultimately I was growing my business. I couldn't. So I brought on another writer. Now, I knew that I knew this company really well, and I had to train this writer to help with it. But I knew she was a good writer, and she learned the voice. I said, watch what I did. Look at the changes I did. You have to spend some time. Instead of just client-focused, you now split your attention and put some of that energy into training the other person and train them how you do it. Every person who ever created a company did that. They had an idea of what their business stood for and what they did, and they make sure that they train the way they do it. You have to let go of this idea that you have to do everything. And you then start to pitch clients on saying that I help produce these things for people and I keep a very close eye. And you're not going to grow so fast that you can't look at everything, but you're going to do more guiding. Now, another concern you had, Sabrina, that I know you had was, oh no, what if someone I train goes and works with them and then they take them away? That's a scarcity mentality. Anyone can get poached. Okay, what if I work with an agency and I decide, what if I go to a salon, love the stylist, but then the stylist leaves? I'm going to follow that stylist. That's that model. But if I love the salon more and I like the way they handle their business, then I might stay at the salon. Now, it's not the perfect metaphor, but my point is this. You're coming from a place of distrust, right? That, oh, someone's going to take my business. Am I worried that the people on my team are going to run off and take my clients? No. Could it happen? Sure, it could happen. But the reason people working with my business is because of me. They want to be part of what I'm doing. And my team is so terrific because I've made sure we're all on the same page. You're not going to have your clients paying your writers. They pay you. Everything comes through you. You are the business. So if a client says, hey, a new client says, Sabrina, I need this proofread, I need this, as I say, well, here's a bunch of services I can offer. Maybe you offer a bigger deal. We'll do this, 10 things. And then a smaller deal. Or we can just do these 3 things for a smaller amount. He might go, oh, I like the bigger one. I kind of want all of that. Great. Well, me and my team can make that happen. He doesn't even question it. Would you go in to Nike and expect that the CEO is going to help you? Would you go into a restaurant chain and expect the CEO of that restaurant chain to make your dinner? No. You will put your stamp on it. But what?
But this linked to another concern is that, but I know it's once again scarcity, as you say, and it's thinking maybe small, but I'm not considering myself as a freelancer, but companies call me do. And if I grow up and have a team, they might consider it's too big for them, it's too expensive.
Already? You're worried about growing so big that you have now outpriced your clients? You don't even have a damn person working for you. You're jumping a million paces ahead. What are you worried about?
2 extra persons. If I change because I'm putting up, I will put online a new site, for example.
Yep.
So the new site will probably have the new name, because I don't have a name for now. In France, when you're a solopreneur, you just have your
well, that's what we do too. Yeah, I have my name as my business right now, but I'm thinking of changing it.
But what's your advice or what's your perspective on growing up and changing the name of the brand?
I know. I'm in that same thing. I'm in the same boat with you.
What I'm afraid of is if I call myself I don't know, Sabrina as an agency, for example, that's a lame example, but people will just see the agency part and will think it's too big, it's too expensive for us, it's not as easy.
So you want to stay small so that you can keep prices low so you can make nothing?
No.
But that's what you're saying. You're saying, what if I'm so big and shiny? Look, people are dumping you for agencies all the time. You might not know it. In fact, one of my regular clients has gone with a bigger agency, and I've gotten cut. Not totally, but cut back. And that agency, all they did was build themselves as a bigger thing. I'm assuming I'm probably less expensive. I don't know. But then they made a decision. They went with the agency. So they went with like I function as an agency too, but they went with a bigger agency. So guess what? Sometimes people go, well, this is Sabrina. She's small. She's good, but we want to go with a People do it all the time. They pay for something they want to pay because they want more. Your question is, do you want to operate as more? Maybe you have a thriving career with a big company, and then you decide, I'm done with it, and you sell a company for a few $1,000,000, and you can go back to proofreading things yourself if you want. But this idea that you've got to stay small so that you don't scare away clients, has any business you see that's successful stayed small so they don't scare anyone? That's a female problem. That's a female problem. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm genderizing. It is a gender issue because men are not afraid of being big. Women keep themselves small, and I won't have you do it.
I totally agree.
Well, then we got to stop fucking doing it. We've got to stop it.
I know,
right.
And that's why when I came up to Brand's books, it was like just...
right. Because you have the... Are you a mother?
Yes,
okay.
Of two.
I am not a mother, and I still feel this, that, oh, but my clients are my babies, and what I need to breastfeed all of them. No, you do not. You get their expectations. You say, hey, maybe you could actually offer more to your clients because you could actually offer more because you're not stuck doing it. Guess what happens with freelancers? Every time I try to hire a freelancer, well-meaning, they go, I really need work. And as soon as I try to give them work, they go, oh, but I don't know if I have bandwidth for that. Freelancers are too small. They're like a little rowboat, and they can't take on real work, and they push away and turn away work and money every day. If you can say, yeah, we can take that. Yeah, we can take that. Yes, we can take that. You can, it's not just about earning more money. It's more people want to be touched by you. I have a friend who runs a PR company. She can't do it all herself, but she runs it, and she's at the big meetings, and they want her. It is her name. The company is her name. And they want her. They want her. Is the worst thing ever that more people want you than you can handle? I think you can handle it. Yes. She has people, and she says she makes sure she works with those people and stays connected to it, and makes sure they deliver. And yeah, once in a while, someone will get disappointed. That's business. So okay. I went slowly with my client. That I brought in another writer, a little bit. She didn't want her in all the meetings. I did a little bit of time, and guess what? I brought my writer up to speed so that I had some support, and it was worth it. Totally worth it. It was a seamless thing because I went slowly and I made sure I was the face of it, but I wasn't doing all the work. I can't. And guess what? They still went to a bigger agency. They went to another agency. So you will lose staying small. So stop seeing yourself as a pet project of someone's. You're not.
And so for building your team, are you recruiting freelancers or?
I go very slowly, and I bring in people that I know, and I do a test project with them, and I try this out. And some people I work with I know are good for that kind of client, but not good for that kind of client. Oh, he'd love her, or no, they would not get along. It's forever feeling out. So I'm not talking about hiring employees, by the way. I don't plan on hiring any employees.
Same for me.
Yeah, just satellite teams. Think of the whole universe of stars. I would love to have you have a constellation of, or rather your own little Milky Way of talent, and you bring them in. You bring in a certain constellations of people for different projects. Oh, for this project, I want her and him. For this one, I want these two, because you can't just have one person helping you. You'll both be burned out.
Yeah, I began that. I began a recruiting campaign, well, a small one, through a network of creative people. So I began to send some tests and see who's motivated, and it's really hard to find competent.
I don't believe that it's hard to find people who want work. I think you're looking for people, and you're finding people who aren't good. But there's plenty of people who are super motivated to do work, and by the way, they don't have to be living near you, as you know. They should
know,
right?
It's in all France and abroad.
You have to go through. It's like dating online, and trust me, I know about that too. There's a lot of garbage out there. You have to get through it.
Yes, I saw that. There was some weird stuff and tests in it. It's crazy. So I wanted to go back to the site and the website strategy.
Yep.
About the new name.
I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm working on that too. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a different name. Name doesn't matter. I have so many friends hung up on the name. The website. No one's going to go to your website. No one's going to my website unless I tell them blatantly. It's not about getting just traffic to your website. You've got to go out into the world and tell and get people.
It's like a business card, like some clients.
Of course it's important. Of course it's important, but people aren't going to just find you. I feel like that's an old idea. Like it's a brick and mortar idea. Oh, people have to come to my store. They're only going to come there when you have Yeah, I get what you're saying. Your reputation, though, is how you're getting your work. So
Yes.
what's on your site should be a clear tag, a clear thing of what you're doing.
Okay.
So what are you offering? Don't just say, well, we're a this and we're a that. Tell me why I need to go find you. Tell me what you're going to do for me. It should be very clear.
Yeah, I was thinking of talking about my values and
No,
expertise.
no one gives a shit. No one
Okay.
gives a shit. They want to know what you can do for me. You can have your value embedded in it. But remember that whole example I said of like, oh, you're going to keep people from, keeping people from feeling stupid. Like, let's talk about one of your key values. Your value should be worked into it, but it should be more about, don't turn your website into a mirror where you go, I've got great hair, I've got beautiful cheekbones, and so don't you want to hire me? Although you do, and you could be hired as a model, there's no question you could do that too. But what is a value of yours that you think that your customers and clients will want?
So I have to tell them what's good for them.
What do you think their goal is? What do you think what is their goal? What is your client's goal? What do they want? Why do they come to you?
To have perfect books and documents and
Not just perfect books and documents. Think bigger.
to be the publisher, the great one with the great collection of
Yes.
books.
Author, you mean, right?
Yes.
So people come to you. They want to be seen. What do I give you? That's the answer. Yes. They want to be seen as the expert in the field, right? They want to
Okay.
be the pro. They want to be this. It might be. I mean, this takes a while. You have to think about this, but you have to think about what is the language they use when they come to you. They go, yeah, well, I really want this. No one says I want good documents. They say I want to be the go-to person, or I want everyone to know who I am. I want to be known for what what is the thing? You have to do some research. Talk to them. Maybe you send out a survey to some old clients and say, what was the ultimate goal for you? What is the ultimate goal for you? What do you want? Because until you put your finger on that need of theirs, it's not just the pain, Rachel V. It is the pain, but it's also the what they're really wanting, what they want to be. So there's people who solve the pain problem, right? And that part of that is the proofreading. All that stuff is a pain. They don't want to deal with it. Yes, find the pain point. But the other thing is serve the ego. When you're dealing with authors, you're dealing with egos. They want to be seen as the best. And you say, we value, above all, what? We want you. We don't want to just make our customers happy. I mean, everyone does. You're saying, just for instance, I'll make this up. If you were just working on manuscripts, book manuscripts, you say, even in an age of digital media, nothing connotes expertise like a book. Because that's the truth, is that no matter how much we're on Blab and Periscope and books are still the key calling card. People still like to be an author. No one wants to be just called a blogger. Even though people read blogs and bloggers get book deals and all kinds of stuff, they want to be an author. That's why half the reason people start a blog. Appeal to the ego. And say,
And what about the publisher's ego? Because I mainly work for...
you work for the publishers.
And publishers, yes, big ones. So what they really want is their new book to be perfect.
Hey, James, I hear you. James Supa, if books are so outdated, why do people still get and want book deals? Why is the book and self-publishing business so huge? Because it is, and it's still happening. Books might be outdated for you, and if that's the case, you should probably read one. But yes, you're working for the publishers, then that's a different need. There's construction going on next door here. You are scratching two needs, right? The need of the individual expert and the need of the publisher. Now the publisher just needs you because they don't have bandwidth. So what you're probably selling to the publisher is different than what you're selling. Because the publisher already also believes in books. You don't need to sell them the idea of books and how books are important. You have to have a tab on your site that's to publishers. And on that page, the publishers, you appeal to what their pain point is. You have too many great new authors and not enough time to turn them all into gold. I can supplement your efforts and I can do this and this and this. I bring excellence and partner with your efforts to do this, this, this. Both of you have the goal of the author, of making the author great. So you side up with them and say, yes, this is what you want. I can help you make your authors what you want them to be. So you speak to them and then you speak to the author who could hire you privately. And the ones who are new, you start getting them really used to the idea that you have a team of people that you'll be overseeing, and you don't have to explain, I'm sorry, I can't do all the work myself. No CEOs are apologizing for that. They are steering the ship, and that is your job.
Okay, so for what I was planning to do was mainly keeping my old clients for me and to develop my client base and
Yep.
and give their not give share their work with the team, but to keep my historical clients for me.
Just keep the what?
To keep the old clients for me. Like, I'm the one in charge for
Yeah,
their work.
for now. But you know what?
Yeah.
In order to grow, you have to outgrow some clients too.
Okay.
You have to be willing to outgrow them, especially if they're not paying you very much. So at that point, not the publisher clients. You want to keep the big company clients. But individual people, because usually you're dealing with a project thing. Once they're done, they're done. If they come back and you want them to keep coming back at some point and they're wanting to pay this basement rate, ultimately you have to say, you know, in the past 2 years I've been growing a lot, or the past year, and I have a new rate sheet and I have a team now. So you'll be working with my team and me, always. You always stay in touch. But they might go, well, I can't afford you if you do that. Well, I'm sorry, you'll have to find someone else. Go find a freelancer. Works by the hour. So you have to be willing to outgrow.
And I had another question concerning this, is because you are doing this also, building a team, how do you, I don't know how to express that, how do you feel about, I don't know, getting your name on the projects even though other people worked on it?
It's a company. It's a company and you're the head of the company. So no,
Okay.
they're not, if they want to do it themselves, they do their own. If you get people to work with you, it's because they want regular work. That's the benefit of working for someone. You get regular, steady work, that you're doing all the work of prospecting. They don't have to have their names on it.
No one's complaining to you, like, I've worked on it, why my name's
What do you
not
mean my
on it?
name, though? You're dealing with authors who have their name on the book,
Okay.
right? I mean, unless your byline is on their book. I mean, if they don't like that, then they shouldn't be working for anyone. But that's,
Okay.
it depends on what the kind of work is, and I'm not really clear on that. But, exactly, Rachel V. She used to think bigger. You're worried about hurting the feelings of the clients. Now you're worried about hurting the feelings of people who you're paying. I don't worry about the feelings of people whose work I'm giving them work and giving them money. If they don't like that money, they can go find their own clients. The fact is, when you do the prospecting and you have the name and the reputation, you bring the business in, they're eating that food that you brought in. So, yeah, what do you mean? Are you taking credit for someone's idea? No, you can say, well, someone on my team came up with this, or you can say, Susie is really great, she helped with this idea. That's fine.
Okay.
Don't be apologetic for owning your business. Your name is on everything. You are accountable.
And how would you pay them? I mean, what's the share? Is it your normal share that you split with them? Or
No,
is
you're not splitting it. You're not splitting it unless you're having a business partner. You pay someone who works for you what you work out with them. Okay? So you and the client work out what you figure out what your costs are. You figure out what you can pay someone. Sometimes it's hourly. Maybe it's a project. You say, I can pay 500 euros for this project. And the person says, well, I really need 600. You say, fine, 550. You make that deal. You say, okay, what if my costs is my computer, my this, my that, and this person who's going to need 500 euros to do this job. That's your business. Now you go talk to the client, you swing your own deal. You want to charge only 1,000 of the client? That's your business. You want to charge 5,000? This person who you're paying, it's none of this person's business what the client agreement is. That's not how business works. That may be a business partnership. But
So it's two different things.
it's two different things. I mean, what you work out with that client is your business. And then I figure out what someone's rate has to be for them to feel good about doing that job, and I pay them that, and I build what I will charge someone based on what I know I need to pay this person.
Okay.
That's it. But you don't know, like, let's all split it and everyone should know everything. It's not how business works. So I don't know that has to happen.
Because it's really new to me. Working by yourself is really not the same as building a team. And
Well,
there
these people are your vendors. The people who will write for you say, I need a good proofreader who can do this. You give out a proofreading test, see if they're good. You try them on a project, you check their work. You try them on another thing. You see if you like them, you don't like them. Got next person. You keep finding, keep searching for people who are good, and you give the good ones a lot of work. And then you check their work, and then eventually you'll become more confident. And once in a while, someone will fuck up. It happens. I had a writer that I gave something to, and she kind of fucked up, and I sort of didn't help fix it, and we lost that client. Did I blame her?
Oh.
I was mad at first, and then I realized part of this is my fault too, because I outsourced something before I had the client. I outsourced too soon on a project. I should have done it myself, but instead I gave it away because I wanted to manage. I did that one time. It didn't work for me. But guess what? Do you think I cared? The company wasn't going to pay me that much anyway. The writer is far more valuable because she's someone whom I have a life with. We network with each other. We help each other. Sure, I was a little annoyed by that. But please, the value of my vendor in this case is far more valuable than the value of that client. That client didn't happen was, who cares? I don't care.
Interesting.
So it's not always, in my mind, I'm not just always like, oh, if I lost that business. Yeah, this year I lost some business. It happens. I am forever bringing in new business. And I'm trying to turn my attention away to grow talent as well. Has to happen. Does that help?
A lot.
Good.
It's clearer like that.
Well, there are a lot of great resources for this stuff, many more. I don't have any off the top of my head, but keep reading online about how people do those arrangements. But my business sense over the past few years has been that it's okay.
It's good to talk to you about this because you're in the middle, well, not in the middle of it, but I know you're rethinking your company.
Oh, totally. I'm totally in it with you. I'm in it with you. I just have a little bit more experience. Just a little.
Yes, a lot more.
I'm a page ahead of you. That's it.
Oh, yes, I have one question because I'm going to build my LinkedIn page because I have no LinkedIn for the moment.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work because I've already worked for a few American projects. And I wanted to expand in France, of course, and a bit more in the States. So, do you think my LinkedIn, because I've seen that you can have a French page and an English one.
Are you asking me if you should have two?
Yes, but how to brand and market on two different markets, two languages?
I mean, since I don't speak another language, I don't know. I mean, in my mind, if you're going to market to both, you got to have two. And you've got to think about the culture and the people, and I would do some research and survey what how do they think about their business. I would do a lot of fact finding and searching and talking to people before I started marketing it, or I'd market it and see if it went anywhere. But at this point, I wouldn't spread myself too thin, only because you're trying to get some infrastructure underneath you. But yeah, sure, get two up there. I mean, I think that's the beauty of LinkedIn. You figure it out. There's no one time. You fix it and you do it again. Find a French company with an American business. Great tip. Find a bridge company that you could explore both sides of that.
Well, I have one, a big client of mine, a publisher with also in the States, but I don't really, I have to think about how to connect with them. And
well, you have if you have a good relationship with a company that has other countries, like relationships with other country stores or whatever in other countries, then you use that relationship to help teach you. I'd love to help you in your French market. Can you tell a little bit about? You only get it by talking to people. You're never going to guess at it. The other piece of equipment is that you have to bear in mind is you should have written agreements. They don't have to be legal, they don't have to be very structured in terms of legal language, but you must have a written agreement before you start any work with someone, before you go. Don't do a verbal thing because it gets very confusing and no one remembers what was said. So always write down, even if it's just an email that says, we have agreed that you will pay X amount and you will get the following things. This project goes this date to this date and ends on this date. Payment will be once a month or whatever. If you aren't doing that now, make sure you're doing it.
But you mean with my French clients or
every client you ever work with, you should have an agreement written down. Just something written down so you have something to point to when things go wrong. Because things go wrong. People have different expectations.
I have for most of them, but some it's just like it's quick, and there's no return.
No such thing. You have to have something, or else you risk getting fucked. Because or they'll say, "Oh, can't you do one more thing for us? We paid you this. Can't you do one more thing?" And then you end up spending all this time on a client because there were no rules on what that agreement was. So I don't care. A lot of people move in business very quickly. You need to have contracts set a boilerplate thing, so you can whip it out and use it every time. You must.
Most of them are like this, like publishers, they're really like, it's really perfect and it's all done. But some smaller clients don't have this formal structure. And yes,
if you want to risk it, risk it. I've done that. I mean, if you want to risk it and not have an agreement, you just go until you get fucked one day, and then you'll have an agreement. But I mean, you need something written down, or else people's expectations. You risk getting them more mad at you. If since you respond to this fear of angering people, then you need to know if you don't have something written down, they won't see you as professional, and they also will get angry if you don't do things. And you have no protection. You have no way of saying, you know. And they also don't know.
Sometimes it's the reverse situation. I had a publisher for the translation of an American book, and there was a contract and everything, but the payment was delayed like for 4 to 6 months. And some clients, I don't have any contracts, but some mails and all, they're more serious.
Of course they are, because then it feels serious. If you're doing this, this soft kind of casual thing, you'll end up doing more work, and then you have no reason to say you won't do it, because, you know, first of all, if someone isn't paid up, the work stops. You were supposed to pay me on this date, you haven't, so I will hit pause for now until you're able to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But you have to have that written, or else they're like, oh, now you're getting all crazy. People are telling me that my feed on Periscope is blowing up. People have lost thousands and thousands of dollars by not having even a casual agreement in place. So I have and I hate them too. I have 5 proposals I have to do, and I'm like, oh, I hate doing it, because, you know, you have to come up with a number, and then you're afraid they won't like it. But who cares? You got to do it. They're waiting on me to do it, and I have to do it. It's the most important thing I do today will be that, and I think that's most important. So
yes,
think about that.
Clients, I'm having these proposals done, and yes, as you say,
you're more likely to get it done, and it's more likely
exactly.
You're in control
and you
of
can
it.
focus on the work and not worry about payments.
Well, you will have to worry about it. Yeah, of course you'll have to worry about it. You think something's in an agreement they're going to pay you? No, it's just that you have something to point to.
You have to worry about it, but when you have the proposal done, you know that they have it, that everything is sold,
and totally.
You can focus.
Well, it was such a pleasure to meet you finally, and I hope that we get to talk again. My blood sugar is dropping rapidly. You have to go eat something. Thank you, everyone. Yes, you work for yourself. You have to worry about ways. Periscope people, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Sabrina, and we'll check back later on.
It's really precious and great, and lots of infos, and it's really good. Thanks.
Good. We'll talk again soon.
Okay,
guys.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know how to hang up on this thing. This is my problem. I think I'm just gonna. Why don't they make it easy? Why don't they make it easy?